below, we're talking about Mars energy, vitality, strength, and power. To each and every one of you guys, if this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostle of the Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. Teaching every one of you guys, first of all, salutation to my Badrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in the Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Ajay. To each and every one of you guys, I want to say hello to you. I want to say hello to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. On this day of Mars, I want to give you guys a lot of information when it comes down to how to navigate in these spiritual streets. One of the things that I try to do for melanated people, because this particular channel is for black people, black American people, and black people with melanin. It's rooted in real conjure, real understanding of the modality of energy, frequencies, and vibration, how things move, how things operate. And no matter what the particular tradition is, if you want to manifest, if you want to move forward in any form of spirituality, it is, sir, ma'am, it is very important to actually understand how magic really works, how it really operates, and how it really functions. What's up, Mama Susan? Gemini in the house. When it comes down to what I teach on my platform, I do not teach my personal beliefs. I do not teach my personal practice. What I teach are universal laws that apply and applicable to each and every individual. Why that is important? Because when it comes down to social media or any outlet, that everybody is not the same. Other people have different issues and circumstances in their situation. And I found that once you start teaching about a particular practice, you lose people. Once you start teaching about a particular function of a particular art, people can relate, but everybody can relate to universal laws. They are applicable to everybody, and so therefore we endeavor. I love your hair. You don't see my hair, but thank you for coming in, because regardless of what, this is a monetized channel and I make money either way, whether flukes come in or not. I'm gonna say some things. I do realize that on social media, everybody is not into live to actually learn anything. But I would say this: my subject is the wind beneath your wings in these spiritual streets. And the reason why I want to speak on this is because I want people to know how to lift themselves up. I want people to have understanding how to keep themselves up. And a lot of times, and I say this often, I say it in various ways. What's up, my Boaz, Pisces in the house? I say this oftentimes because a lot of people don't actually know what's the wind beneath their wing. And the example I want to give, that when the Republican Party coined the term Obamacare, when it was originally lawfully called Affordable Care Act, and a lot of people, and Caucasian and white people, voted against Obamacare, not understanding that Obamacare was actually the Affordable Care Act. And a lot of times when you go and do things, you don't know what's supporting you. And I think that is very dangerous. I think it is very ignorant not to know how you're able to do what you're doing. Not understanding that certain things have to be in place for you to, in order for you to do what you need to do. And I realized in life a lot of times people are saying things and doing things because they are not aware of the wind beneath their wing. Who is supporting you? Who is being there for you? Who is actually manifesting for you? What's up, Demetri Gemini in the house? When a man or woman does not understand what allows them to do what they're doing, it is easy to allow something to happen to it or to get rid of it. I've seen so many people fall. And this is what people understand. You don't have to fall to the ground because you lost the wind beneath your wings. But you cannot function in this life the way that you used to because of that wind. Oya rules the winds. If you understand the air element is about atmosphere. It's about environment. And I want to read a scripture, Isaiah 40 and verse 31. And I'm going to proceed, because this is important. Isaiah 40 chapter, verse 31. It says this: but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So when you pay attention as much as I do and you observe things, whether somebody is an Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, in a business, in a relationship, what's up there, Ryan? My Ryan. The reason why a lot of people lose altitude, and I'm going to discuss that in a minute, in life, in spiritual streets, because they don't know what all is allowing them to function. If you did not believe that your job or your business was your source of income, you could sit by and allow somebody to destroy that. Or you can quit doing your business. You're going to lose financial altitude. I'm going to say this again. It is important that a man or woman that intend to be successful in life understand the wind, the atmosphere underneath your wings that are allowing you to reach certain heights, certain altitudes, certain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. There are certain things that I could have never touched if I had not had certain people as my support. I'm going to say this again. I don't care what my talent was. I don't care what my ability was. I don't care that I was chosen. The reason why I have been able to hit the heights has a lot to do with the level of support that's under my wings. And because I understood that, I'm giving you a case in point. My mother and I and my sister had a legal situation that happened between us. And we were accused of elder abuse. And as much as I was hurt behind the situation, I knew not to disrupt that foundation. Because if you lose certain people in your life, you cannot touch what you used to touch. You can't possess what you used to possess. And you can't maneuver as easily as you had. Because I took that bullet, I did not lose the support of my mother, but I also didn't lose the support of her brothers and sisters. I need y'all to hear this. Sometimes when you destroy something or you go out against something just because you are in the right. You can actually lose support from other people because of how you handle that other situation. I'm going to say this again. Because I was always mindful of who my support and what my support was, what allowed me to reach the heights in my life. The reason why I can tell other people, I don't need you. The reason why I can say that, because I had a support system. I really need y'all to understand that. But a lot of y'all fall, not because it was meant to, but because you didn't recognize the actual wind under your wings that was supporting you and allowing you to reach those heights. The strength of an eagle's wings lies in the large surface of area which creates a high lift for soaring and gliding. That means the eagle's wings had the ability to expand. Everybody does not have lifting power. Depending on what God has given you, the range, the measure. And when you're flapping your wings, so to speak, depending on how strong your wings are, it's your lifting power. Some people believe that they can lift themselves from point A to point B. Some people believe they can lift themselves in self-initiation into the ATR. Some people believe they can become a self-millionaire. If I'm not mistaken, one of the Kardashians, I don't follow them like that, so if I don't say it right, if you do know what I'm talking about. But one of the Kardashian claimed to be a self-made millionaire. And people disagree with her. I'm not a millionaire, a billionaire, a self-made billionaire. And the reason why people disagree with her, and she actually was upset, because she was not acknowledging all the support that allowed her to reach that height. When you say you're self-made, that means nobody assisted you on the lift. Oh, Kylie, thank you, baby, Kylie. See, there are certain testimonies and affirmations you cannot have. I've never given myself personal credit because I've always acknowledged the foundation by which I came. I've always acknowledged that I was born the way I was born. When I didn't even have a job, I still was living high on the hog. All that is important in serving man. The teaching, the structure, this what keeps you with the ability to have the altitude to hit the heights. Now I'm gonna go on. This wind span allows lifting for soaring and gliding. Soaring means the speed which the eagle could maneuver. A lot of times people don't understand how and why I'm able to move at the speed and the pace that I move. It's because I understand the support. I'm not counting my bidders before they hatch. Sometimes I wait till I get certain incomes. Say, for instance, I know that now I'm going to get the ceremony on October the 2nd. Well, a part of that lift is my pension checks are going to come before the 1st. So that's going to give me a stronger boost to get to my destination. The reason why you want to sow seeds, and in that season of your harvest, those harvests and whatever part of your harvest can help you lift to higher heights and deeper depths. A lot of you are not getting where you need to get because you don't have the lifting power. You see the situation, you understand the situation, but you don't have the lifting power. And then you don't have respect for the people that can lift you. I'm going somewhere with this. Sometimes you are not able to lift yourself to where you need to be. I'm going to say this again. Sometimes you can't get to the measure of knowledge you desire to be. And somebody got to lift you to that place. Sometimes economically, somebody got to lift you. Sometimes spiritually, somebody got to lift you. Because everybody don't have the wings of an eagle. Some people around here got the wings of a hummingbird. It ain't going to take much to bring you to the ground. Okay? It says, and their specialized feathers that allow for efficient flight and what? To carry sufficient weight. So you can't just have lifting power. You have to have the strength in your wings to carry your vision, to carry your goal, to carry your ambition, to carry your desire, to carry your healing. Sometimes people do not realize the weight that I'm carrying. The things, the amount of power that it takes for me to lift the type of people and the weight of people and what they got going on, and still keep my flight, still not lose my personal altitude. I'm going somewhere. In other words, I can heal you and not lose my healing. I can bless you financially and not lose my economic stance and position in life. I can war for you and protect you and not leave myself vulnerable. See, you not only have the ability to lift yourself, but you have to also have the weight and the power and the strength to be able to carry what you have need of. This is more complex than people talk about. I hear people say, well, I left his ministry and I'm fine. No, you lost altitude. I know what I bring to the table. I know how much I impact people's life. And people will try to make other people feel like it's not a big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. You can't do what you used to do. You can't obtain the money you were able to obtain when I was behind you. When I was flapping my wings. When I was pulling you up. When I was shielding you with my feathers. Are you hearing me on today? It says, having efficient flight to carry sufficient weight and sometimes close to the eagle's own weight. To be able to carry another vessel of my same caliber, it takes a tremendous amount of power. It takes a tremendous amount of skill set to keep your business afloat and mine afloat. I remember going through something, and Mother Susan knows more personal than other people know, but I was helping out another spiritualist, and I was carrying my household, my ministry, my website, all of my business, and was carrying them through their trial, meeting all their needs for months. And I carried that. Yet while still helping my clients. Do you not know how much strength that takes to be able to carry somebody else's practice? To be able to pay the bills here and there. So nobody can tell me what God can't do in my life. You cannot lift somebody out of something when you don't have the wing space, you don't have the skill to fly in that kind of weather, in that kind of atmosphere. That's why eagles are named as hunters, masters of the sky, masters of the air element. When a person masters the air element, they are like eagles, and they understand how to fly. They're eagles that are their vision is so on point that they can see a ram or a goat on a mountain, and they understand. It's in my mind. Eagles are like a cat. A cat can measure where it is and always land on its feet. I'm going to say this again. That eagle can spot that ram or that goat on that mountain. And that eagle knows precisely how much speed he or she needs to grab that goat or that ram off that mountain and drop it to its death. That eagle will bring you out of your element, which is earth. You got that earth on you, and you have mastered that earth element. That a goat can walk on the edges of that cliff, of that mountain. But when that eagle is coming in through the atmosphere, he knows he has the strength to take them talisman and lock into that animal and snatch that animal out of its element and bring it into his element and drop it. And allow gravity to allow natural forces to destroy that animal. That's a smart bird. That's a smart bird. That's a smart bird. That is a wise hound. That eagle can be up in the sky and see a fish down in the water. You left the earth element and now it's in the water element. You're swimming in your element. That eagle knows how fast to come down, plunge into that water, into your element, grab you by your spine, and lift you out with those wings, and lift you out of that element, lift you out of your emotions, pull you out the water, and fly your ass off. Air element can pervade any element. You will find eagles in all types of places and spaces, whether it's hot or whether it's dry. They are a great hunter. And they understand math. They understand their personal weight. They know how to use gravity. This is what I mean by this. An eagle will use your weight and your strength against you. Y'all ain't trying to hit me. An eagle knows how to use your weight and your strength against you for their advantage. An eagle don't care if you a snake, a python. An eagle, and let me tell you something about an eagle. An eagle will see you, and he understands. And this is what I tell people about an eagle. An eagle understands every part of his body. An eagle knows that a turtle, a hard-shelled turtle, that eagle will come down with so much velocity and take that beak of his, as sharp as it is, and bust a hole right through that turtle's shell. And while that turtle is still alive, that eagle be sitting on his back, eating out of his bag. What you think shielding you and protecting you, that eagle will come out of the sky wide open, whether you're a human, and bust your head wide open. And it knows when and how to strike. When you can strike like an eagle, those are fatal blows. I'm going to say it again. Wherever, when God talks about wind beneath your wings and that we mount up like eagles, you have to understand the energy of an eagle. You have to understand the structure of an eagle. Fly above the storm. Fly above the storm. It fly. Yeah. Let me tell y'all something. Let me show you the magic of an eagle if you understand root work and conjuring. An eagle is not confined to the weather and the atmosphere. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to break down what they were posting. Even though there's a storm going on and the pigeon has to find a bridge, the hummingbird, the crow, got to find a tree. The eagle is not subject to the atmosphere. The eagle can fly above the clouds. And while you are having rainy days, the eagle is flying in sunshine. The eagle has the ability to lower itself into your atmosphere, into your condition. And when he or she gets tired of being where you are in your financial and emotional chaos, they can fly right out. They don't need nobody's permission. This is when you're saying out your mouth that you are mounted up on the wings of eagle. If you really understood the strength that God was acknowledging for his children, then you will understand that conditions and circumstances are not, you're not subject to those. Everybody else can be out here catching hell. But you fly or ascend, elevate to higher levels, and therefore you live in the sun while other people have to wait for the storm to cease, the system of the storm to die down. This is very important when you're doing conjure and magic, and you want to know why it's important not to burn bridges, why it's important to listen to your teachers, why it's important. What my spiritual dad had walking with me, even though I haven't seen you, I don't know if you're even living, those spirits are still here. I know not to violate certain things because I don't want to lose my altitude. I like being able to outfly other spiritualists, other conjurers, other mystics. I love being able to outsee other seers and other prophets and other miracles, oracles and diviners. I love that. I love to be, they think they got me cased in, and I fly right out that shit. I soar right out of it. Where did he go? He going from height to height. All because I understand the wind beneath my wings. I do not jeopardize my ability of my altitude. And your attitude got a lot to do with your altitude. I'm going to say this again. Your attitude Your state of mind, your persona, how you convey yourself has a lot to do with your ability to lift yourself up or to be lifted up by somebody else. Because if you have the right attitude, it will get you in the right spaces and places. The reason why you got to fight so hard, because you don't have that kind of wing power. Wing power. You read this scripture, but you really ain't walking in the arche, the chi, and the prana of an eagle. Because you would be able to outfly many of these people that are chasing after you. I'm going to say it again. You will be able to outfly the pigeon, the crow, the hummingbird, the chicken. Like, you are the master of air element. Why? How can they block you? How can they hinder you? How can they keep you confined? A damaged eagle, this is what happens when an eagle's wing is damaged. They can't fly correctly. They don't have balance. You don't let nothing and nobody damage your wings. I'm going to say this again. Your wings is how you're able to manipulate the air element. And you don't let nothing damage your wings. Have you ever seen a bird that got his wing damaged? He can't fly. She can't fly. And when they fluttering around, they be all off balance because they need the strength of those wings. And they need those wings to be, those feathers to be in alignment so they can be able to lift themselves off the ground. Don't ever get caught out here in these spiritual streets and not being able to lift yourself above the ground. I'm going to break this word. Altitude is defined the height of an object or the point in relation to sea level or ground level. How far off the ground financially can you go? How far off the ground can you go spiritually? How far off the ground can you lift yourself in your business, in your relationship, wherever you are, whatever condition you're in? How far can you lift yourself when it comes to your health? Mother Susan told me, she said, Apostle, I have never seen nobody get healed like you got healed. People that have your ailments or issues or sicknesses, they do not come out like that. I had a tremendous amount of wing power and lifting power. And I kept using my wings to lift me further and further out of my condition. I'm going to say this again. I don't care what financial problems are going on around the city. If I got to fly to distant lands to prosper, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to fly to distant land to get healed, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to fly to different locations for different kinds of water, that's what I'm going to do. And I have the radius to make that flight. I'm going to say that again. This is why I tell people I got extraterrestrial energy. Even if you're practicing voodoo, and even if you're proficient in voodoo, and voodoo laws are at the fifth dimension level, I can supersede the fifth dimension easily. I'm going to say this again. The reason why I tell people to leave me alone, because I know they can't soar that high. Their altitude is not that high. And I'm talking about people that actually practice and work the spirits well, or the Loas well in voodoo. But those spirits only operate at the height of the fifth dimension. I go above that. I bring all of my spirits, all of my Loas, any spirit that work in my spiritual core, I bring them all to the extraterrestrial level. Because I have that lifting power. That's why when y'all get y'all egg on stick, why they so strong? Because it has been prepared by somebody that's extraterrestrial. I have access to all 9 realms. And I can get to those realms quite quickly. Let me explain. I don't move at the speed of light. I'm going to say it again. I do not move at the speed of light. I move at the speed of sound. So I can be in the land of the Orishas in a very short time. I can be in the land of the ancestor in a very short time. See, when you're manifesting, depending on how quickly you can go there or come from there, depending on what you can do. Because if it's going to take the police officer 25 minutes to get to your house and the thief is already in the house, you run out of time. Do you understand? When spirits have to come from distant places and you can't meet them in the air, rapture. And you can't meet those spirits in the air because your spirit is not evolved enough, illuminated enough to actually meet them. Some of my spirits don't have to come to earth. I can go to them. That's why I was able to tell Minister Mario, if you pass, I can come over there and get you. My travel time. The Bible said a day is like 1,000 years to God. In the spirit world, time moves different. Well, I'll take it out. There ain't no time. It's eternal. When it comes down to real magic, real conjuring, what I try to encourage people, especially Black American people, people don't understand what it takes for you to have altitude. You don't understand how to conduct yourself. She said emergency contact, Archie. And the reason I say this, because you may understand your tradition, but you don't understand magic. You may understand the writs and the rights of a particular tradition and yet not understand magic. I see people with Babalu Aye Sapetas, but you see, they have Oshun Sapetas, and you broke, and them been crowned all that time because they don't know how to soar. They have an understanding of Oshun as in the religion, but they don't have an understanding as Oshun as energy, frequency, and vibration. You're never going to be able to outmaneuver me because you're limited in your wing space. You can only lift so high. I understand that all things exist in the cosmos. So therefore, it doesn't matter what tradition I'm going to work, whether it's Obeah, whether it's hoodoo, or whether it's prayer, whether it's intercession, whether it's ritualistic, whether it's a veve, whether it's a pati pimba, I understand that I can bring the energy. I can bring the vibration. I can bring the concentrated energy, melanin, heaven on earth. Whether I use my bracelets, whether I use tektites, I understand how energy moves. That's what I was telling y'all about my classes. I teach those classes for you to have an understanding, not of the tradition, of magic, energy, frequency, and vibration. Because you can be proficient in your tradition if you understood magic. You can get more out of your cauldrons. You can get more out of your orishas, loas, and pungos. Your amulets and your talisman, your root bags and your grigor bags, your anointing oil. If you really took out the time to actually understand energy, frequency, and vibration. But you're so busy trying to be known for your knowledge in a tradition, you forgot the magic. This is why, even as a babe in Ocha, they couldn't do anything with me. They couldn't ambush me while I was being born. They couldn't block my pathway while I was being born. Because I was shielded. Because I understand magic. I understand frequency. I understand vibration. And I'm very aware when other spirits, I don't care what pantheon or tradition it comes out of. My point on tonight, sir and ma'am, if you want altitude in your life, if you want lifting power, not only personally for yourself, but lifting power from other people, attitude has a lot to do with it. Humbling yourself to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I don't need you to humble yourself to me. I need you to humble yourself to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Stop pretending you know what you don't know. Stop trying to project yourself out here in the social media platform. And that's what's wrong with a lot of spiritualists. They're losing altitude because they have perceived and projected themselves to be in certain spaces that they're not. They're talking about stuff that they have not mastered. They work it, but they ain't mastered it. Why are you trying to teach when you have not become a master of the craft that you're in? But because somebody will pay you because they don't know better. But what keeps you from going to higher heights in your tradition has nothing to do with your enemies. It has all to do because you don't have the right knowledge and you never took out time to learn what real magic is, what real conjure is, and now you're in tradition, and now you got to cloak yourself and cover yourself in the things and the tools of your tradition instead of working the magic of your tradition. No, majority of people are pretending. And if you follow most people, they are regurgitating what they heard from other videos, and they're regurgitating what they Google on the internet. You can't go to them and get a fresh word because it's going to sound like something I said or somebody else with revelatory knowledge. They can't teach a same subject matter and give you certain insight because they can't get to those heights. They were too busy trying to be a root worker instead of learning magic. They were too busy trying to be a Tata and a Mambo and a Hugon, or apostle, pastor, teacher, evangelist, a high priest or high priestess, than actually learning magic. So when you became a Tata, a Mambo, or Hugon, apostle, pastor, a teacher, or evangelist, you could function in your office and role and still elevate. And you would have the pulling power, the lifting power to bring other people along the way and not affect what you got going on, because you will understand energy, frequency, and vibration. You would understand what type of velocity or speed or pace that you need to do. When you do a strike or do warfare, you will know how much power or how much energy or what kind of strategy. That eagle come off that at an angle. That bird studies the atmosphere. An eagle don't go in without calculations, without a strategy. And sometimes when he goes in for the kill, he know he got to fight. Everybody ain't gonna lay down and die. Okay, let me say it again. Everybody, when you are warring, is not gonna sit there and let you strike them. They gonna strike back. What does the movie say? Empire Strikes Back. Whatever they know, however they maneuver, they're gonna try to fight you back. You can't lose your space and atmosphere because you got to fight. Huh? Because while you in the atmosphere and trying to bring this ram down and he bucking at you, you got to make sure you're in position of power over that ram. That's why sometimes the eagles start flying up a little higher. You got to get above the head of your enemies. I'm going to say this again. Sometimes you got to elevate above the head of your enemies. Sometimes you got to get above their higher self. You got to get above their protection. You got to get above their shield. Depending on what somebody's shielding themselves with, it's depending on what I use to penetrate their shield. Because everybody ain't using the same material to shield themselves. All y'all light bearers and all that, and you using your mind to keep your aura strong around your body. I know that it takes some certain amount of concentration for you to keep that up. And your mind ain't that strong when it comes to me. And I'm going to wail on your head until I break your concentration. And in breaking your concentration, I'm also breaking your shield and your protection. You got to be able to read how somebody is shielding and protecting themselves to keep you off of them. I know how much force that I need to, because when you build your wall of fire, when they tell you, oh, get you some firewalls of protection, bitch, I come out of the sky like a phoenix. I'm a firebird. So your firewalls of protection is not going to keep me out. And you still got protection. It just don't protect you against me. When you're trying to utilize the water to protect you, remember, a good strong wind can change the direction of water. And you don't have enough control or mastery over that element to keep me from coming in. You can't drown me. Because I know how far to dip in that water, and I know where to come out. Even though my rising sign is Pisces, so you're still not gonna win. But my point is, you got to have a strategy, and you got to get above the head of your enemy, above the way they think, above the way they perceive things. It kind of like when we say the term talking over somebody's head. You have to talk in prayer above their ability. And I've said this to people. I say, "Oh, I ain't scared." I said, "How you gonna fight what you can't see? How you gonna fight what you don't understand? How you gonna fight what you don't even know is possible?" When I heard stupid stuff out of church folks, but I done also heard some stupid stuff out of people. Don't you know I can break them damn elekes off your neck? Don't you know that I can actually shake your inganga? I can break down your protection. Some of y'all have no idea of what can be utilized. Utilizing garlic. I told a couple people to order the garlic. Garlic is ruled by Mars. Garlic will eat and get rid of bacteria. It will eat through certain protection. Because garlic has sulfur in it. You have no idea how unprotected you really are. And I tell people, and they get offended when I say this, you better thank God you're dealing with novelists. You better thank God you're not dealing with real professionals. You're not dealing with people that have mastered the craft. Because that protection would never hold. When I give people protection, they can be inexperienced, and that protection will hold. Because the professional gave them that protection. I tell them, my cleanser, you're going to have to be a bad goddamn worker to get past my cleanser. Not that $20, that $160. You gonna have to know some shit. And I'm not talking about no books. You gonna have to not buy videos. You gonna have to be gifted. You gonna have to be skilled, and you gonna have to have a wingspan that can keep that shit going. Because my cleanser always send that shit back like a rocket. They swear my clients be working on. No, it's the cleanser they use. And my reversal, that's why I call my reversal the AK-47. Which means it hit so many ways, so many times. It spits bullets. Huh? Before you recognize that you've been hit, you don't realize how many times you done been hit. Demetri said, I love that cleanser. Let me tell y'all something. To have the strength of an eagle is to understand eagle in nature. To read this scripture and not having a full understanding of what God is saying about his chosen, his peculiar people, a priesthood, a royal priesthood. And you're not mastering your melanin. You're not mastering your element. You think it's all about initiation and all that. A lot of them people that are initiated, I am an initiant. Hear me when I say this. They don't know shit. And a lot of them are suffering. Because they don't. All they got was initiated and handed some tool. And they don't know how to use them. I know how to use all my shit. And I didn't learn how to use my shit from my Padrino. I understood what I was into. I studied the science behind Paulo. I understood the science behind Orisha. That's why you hear me talking about the different realms. Paulo is shadow magic and necromancy. It's a duality opposite of light. This is where Psalm 91 comes into play with power. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow. When you hear that word right there, and you look, there's certain excerpt in the Acts of the Apostles where their shadow healed the people. That shadow realm. You keep listening to niggas about, though I walk through the valleys of the shadows of death. It's just a shadow. I ain't got. He wasn't talking about they monkey ass. He was talking about his anointing going through the shadows of death. Fuck with shadow beings if you want to. There's a lot of ignorance out here. And people have you believing you more protected. And how you gonna plead the blood of Jesus? And Jesus was a made up term and a made up name. Niggas still do stuff. Oh, I plead the blood. You don't even believe in animal sacrificing. That's why he was called the Lamb of God. A lamb is a ram. Or a sheep. Let me drop this to you. A goat is the closest thing to a human sacrifice that you can get on planet Earth. Even though other rituals call for a human sacrifice. That's what the hangings are all about. They're melanin people. And then they allow the sun to hit that body to magnify the energy of that word. Just like we put our crystals in the sun to get energized. It's nothing wrong with believing. It's something wrong when you believe against the facts that are presented to you. I want you, white man, to believe you're greater than me. But the facts that remain, you can't be. And black people feel that white people have power. Let me explain their power. Because you too goddamn stupid to realize you feed their power. You feed their power through investing in what they're doing. You actually pay for them to destroy you. I've seen so many women destroy men and the man is financing it. You're doing the same goddamn thing for white supremacy. You're funding your tax dollars when you're going out and shopping and they say a 7%, well in our state it's 7% sales tax. You're still funding them. They have to send that money to federal. And the federal government, which is KKK, is going to redirect them funds where they see fit. See, you're a part of your own madness. You're a part of your own chaos. You're a part of your own demise. Because you won't rise above. I haven't seen so many black people excited about Jimmy Kimmel going back to his show. Like that fucking helps us. Like, what's wrong with black people? Because his green money is going to be invested in white causes. Now, he may not do exactly like Donald Trump, but he believes in that shit too. He benefits off that shit too. But we have a problem supporting black melanated people. And we don't spend our dollars because our black dollars, our green dollars that we understand is so powerful, we do not invest it in our people. We don't invest it in our businesses. We don't invest it in our well-being. There are very few people out here that are sustained by black dollars. my platform is sustained by black dollar. And black people are hard to convince. Because when they get mad, they pocketbook, their wallet get mad. When they hear you say something they don't like, they say, fuck the agenda. I understand the sentiment behind Jimmy Kimmel. But he's not an ally. He's an older white man. You think he just found out about white supremacy? And he didn't even say anything that we would have liked to hear for him to even lose his job. So he's not out there like Jasmine Crockett fighting for black people. Maxine Waters fighting for black. These people on the front line taking them hits. But y'all, black people, y'all fucking get me. Y'all will protect a white pair of nuts and dick. Y'all throw y'all bodies for them motherfuckers. You bootlickers. What Jimmy Kimmel having his paycheck gonna do for black people? No, the shit that they trying with Jasmine Crockett, the shit they trying with Kamala Harris, the shit they trying with people that are literally fighting for us, Letitia James, why you ain't in an uproar how she being handled? Yes, she a strong black woman, but she still needs our protection. Trump trying to get rid of her ass. And she keep lighting into his ass on behalf of the American people. But when she get her paycheck, she always at black events. When Crockett get her paycheck, she always at black events. Y'all claim that President Barack Obama is all about the white folk, but when he get his money, he's spending with black people. I was told in the Bible, where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart is also. He's not like Shannon Sharpen gonna give a white bitch, a plain a basic bitch, $50 million. $50 million. I'd have did all kind of sorcery, which, oh my God, the shit that I'd have been doing. You would have never got that kind of money out of me. I'd have spent that kind of money to fuck you up, but I would never write you a check. I spend my money with black people. I instruct, I recycle what I do with black people. And some of y'all give me a hard time. Some of y'all give me a hard time. And I still come on here and be encouraging you, showing you different shit, whether you support me or not. Because I'm down for my people. But I ain't going to let my people get me down. I can be down for my people and I'm not allow my people to get me down. Because I will soar beyond and over your ass. Because black people, the same people you trying to help, will turn around and crucify your ass. I love my people, but I know my people. It was black people that was call themselves gonna shoot Malcolm X. But they were given guns that were blanks. And the CIA shot Malcolm X. They make sure that nigga was dead. But black men were willing to kill that nigga. Black people hate to see other black people shine and stand out. And they looking for you to fall out that sky. They looking for you one day They be sitting there crossing their fingers, their hairs on their ass, their feet, everything, hoping that you fall out that sky. So they can say, good for that monkey ass. Oh, he thought he was this. She thought she was that. Those are the facts. If you're going to be into this thing and you're going to be helping black people, don't confuse yourself about black people. The same people that smile in your face will try to fuck you up and fuck you over. And it could be on something insignificant. All about hair grease. They want you to lose everything you got because they feel like you used too much of their hair grease and you did it because you think you all that. Oh, black people gonna be petty and ignorant as a motherfucker. And think they right. Oh, they think they're right. They think losing you from being the wind beneath all these people's wings is worth it because of that hair grease. I know my people. I love my people, but I know my people. You have to protect yourself from the very people you're trying to help. Because they'll do it for free. They don't even have to be paid to do that to you. They'll do it for free. They got that much envy and jealousy in their heart for certain black people. So I hope what I said tonight helped melanated people, black people, to understand the wind beneath your wings. Also understanding that you don't want to lose altitude because of your attitude. You don't want to lose altitude because you don't know how to navigate in these spiritual streets. And to know what real strength is. What real lifting power is. When I lift you up and bring you into the nest of your desire, I'm not lifting you up in something I wanted for you. I'm lifting you up into a desire that you said you wanted. Stay your course. Support your ministry. Support your tribe. Support our website. So support what we do here. Because I can lift you higher than you can lift yourself. And I've said this many times. And people get upset and they feel like I'm downing them. No. If I fall today or tomorrow, you can't lift me up. You can't put me back on that perch. If you fail today or tomorrow, I can put you back where you was. I'm going to say it again. If I fail today or tomorrow, you don't have enough in you to lift and put me back on that perch. But if you fail today or tomorrow, I can put you right back where you was. That's the difference. I can give you where you come from, but you can't give me where I come from. So therefore, I got to secure myself. Everybody can't catch you. Everybody can't catch you. That's not an arrogancy, that's wisdom. Because if they can't catch you, don't let them make you fall. I'm going to say it again. If a man or woman cannot catch you, don't let them make you fall. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.